From well bikes to Roman carpentum, here are some mind-blowing ancient vehicles from our ingenious predecessors. Well bike. Harry Lester came up with this super cool motorcycle for the British Special Operatives Executive Officers. It was tiny and could fit in a parachute box. They'd jump out of planes with it, and in just 11 seconds, they'd be zooming away on this little bike. It was like a secret agent's getaway car. Railway motor tricycle. A decade ago, in Australia, a trike that you pedaled yourself was the simplest way to move around the train tracks. The railway workers, especially those who were in charge of keeping the lights on at the train signals, loved this thing. They could hop on, pedal to wherever they needed to go. Schienenzeppelin. 230 kilometers per hour. This Zeppelin-shaped train did that in 1931, setting a record speed for trains at the time. Franz Kruckenberg built this body of aluminum on wheels powered by 2 BMW aircraft engines. I mean, he's German. With all its awesomeness, though, it never really became a regular means of transportation. Flying boat. 1912 saw a plane that could take off from water. Glenn Curtiss pioneered that movement, as it was unheard of before that year. Model E, as it was called, had a shape that aided it in taking off from water, leading to Curtiss getting patented for it. Flying Ginny. Imagine a car that could fly. That's what the Flying Ginny was. Jess Dixon's masterpiece could drive on roads and take off like a helicopter. It was like a super cool futuristic car, but nobody really knows if it ever actually flew very well. Helica. A car with a giant propeller in front instead of wheels. That's what Marcel Layat made in 1919. It was super fast and didn't have any of the fancy parts that normal cars have. Steering was difficult, and you had to sit in front of the spinning propeller. It was a crazy and dangerous experiment. Goventosa monowheel. Single giant wheel with a person sitting inside it, like something out of a sci-fi movie. That's what Goventosa made right before World War II began. It's got a tiny engine and some strange parts that nobody really understands. It's like a one-wheeled motorcycle from another planet. Sail wagon. Samuel Peppard made a weird boat-shaped wagon with big, skinny wheels. It had sails like a ship, and you could steer it like a boat, too. When there was no wind, you had to use your arms to make it move. It was like a crazy, old-fashioned, wind-powered car. Air Jeep. Piasecki aircraft designed a flying jeep. It was designed to help soldiers maneuver obstacles. It looked like a big, round thing with giant fans that helped it fly. Unfortunately, helicopters turned out to be more practical for what the U.S. Army needed, so the air jeep never really took off. Flying Pinto. Henry Smolinski made a groundbreaking attempt to create a practical flying car. It was essentially a Ford Pinto attached to the back of a Cessna Skymaster aircraft. The idea was to combine the best of both worlds, a vehicle that could drive on roads and fly in the sky. Temple car. Temple chariots are gigantic, beautifully decorated wooden structures used in Hindu festivals to parade the idols of deities through the streets. These massive vehicles are adorned with intricate carvings, sculptures, and paintings that tell mythological stories and depict divine figures, making them an important part of religious celebrations. Egyptian war chariots. Egyptian war chariots were like the tanks of ancient times. They were super fast and could turn really quickly. Imagine a speedy two-wheeled buggy with a driver and a soldier with a bow and arrow. These chariots helped the Egyptians win lots of battles because they could move fast and attack from far away. Roman carpentum. The Roman carpentum was like a fancy, covered wagon for rich people. It was all decked out with fancy carvings and gold stuff. Only important people could ride in them. They were like the fancy cars of ancient Rome, and everyone knew you were rich if you had one.